Alright, and welcome back to Trailmakers. In this video we will be ranking all of the aircraft carriers of the Chamelidonia Navy thus far. Alright, so we're first going to rank the Squamate class. We'll first rank the Squamate. Alright, so this one has a grenade launcher, 2 railguns, 4 heavy cannons, and 2 AA positions. It was in this entire class, the Squamate class was inspired by the FS Ocean Avenger from the game Modern Warships. Now, I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. It is quite fast and quite well armed. Alright, next one, the Gecko. Moving these a bit to the left because there's no steel off center. Anyways, this one is well armed like its sister ship. Well, yeah, these are all sister ships. But it has a missile instead of a grenade launcher. Overall 9 out of 10 as this missile doesn't track very well. Next up is the Skink, one of the worst armed ships of the entire class. I'm going to be giving it a 6 out of 10 due to the fact that it has no tertiary weapon. It only has 2 railguns. Next up, the Elapid, the newest carrier of the class, armed with 2 grenade launchers, and the customary 2 railguns of the class. It has, well, I'm gonna give that one a 10 out of 10 as well. Next up, the Anator. More weakly armed than the Squamate class, but it carries a lot, and I mean a lot, of missiles. It was designed to be a guided ship, by the way. But somehow, there was enough missiles on the carrier. Well, there was enough length on this deck for it to be a carrier. 10 out of 10. Yes, I have a pipe bird. And now the next ones you will have probably seen. I know you haven't seen these ones. Alright, so the first one of these is the Ranger. The Ranger and the Sea Emperor are both ships, by the way. Armed with 6 railguns of heavy cannons and miniguns for out of hands. The Ranger, unlike its brother ship with the Sea Emperor, has only a single flight deck, but both have emails or electromagnetic launch system. That one is a 10 out of 10, this one is 2. But it's a bit closer to an 11 in fact. The Elapid is also going to be an 11 now. Look how much better it is. Alright, so the next warship. Yeah, dude. The GMS. The first one to be carrying missiles in the Navy. best warship, aside from the impregnable to carry missiles. This one's the first. One that's consisting of solely flak. I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. Alright, now to the next warship. I got my mate 2 copies. Yeah, this one. Anyways, it's the Impregnable. The early submersible warship of the Navy that can carry aircraft. And let me just enable that. Fire them. Why the missiles being laggy? I Yeah, the missiles are very buggy, but I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Because of how slow it is extremely slow. Anyways, these ones were some of the first warships to be shown on the channel. We'll go with the direction remover first. Only disadvantage of this warship is an absolute lack of AA, but it is the best one for fighting warships. Isn't it insane? 6, 12, 16, 28, 36 guns! 10 out of 10 against warships. Next up is one of the only 2 kind of plans of the Navy, the Speedster. It does horribly in wavy waters, but it is very fast, one of the fastest warships of the Navy. Trying to just do it up, which I haven't really covered on the channel yet. But this one's an 8 out of 10. Next up are the Chameleon and the Gerson the Old. These 2 will be the only ones so far to be equipped with this. Being the secondary USV. It either explodes on impact, or it can deal 2 explosions on impact, and it's a 10 out of 10 warship. Alright, that was the Chameleon. Next up, goes in the hole. 1 second, lads. Sorry, my little brother's was being a bit noisy. Anyways, the Gerson the Old and the Chameleon are actually siblings of the Gerson the Old class aviation frigates. This ship was named after my friend's YouTube channel, being Gerson the Old, and it is a 10 out of 10. Alright, next warship. The Grand Admiral Panzanetto. 3 railguns like the first warship on the channel, the Intelligence. But it also has a cruise missile. It is overall a pretty much 10 out of 10 warship. And it performs quite well. And the next warship is the Invincible, which is actually very weak. Though it is well fortified. It overall is quite bad. 4 out of 10. In fact, maybe even a 3, considering how heavily outclassed it's been. And the next one is going to be the Brutality, if I can find it. There's the Brutality. It was more heavily armed than the Intelligence at 4 railguns, compared to the Intelligence of 3 and 2 AA batteries, while still being quite fast. Overall, an 8 out of 10. And now, the first warship shown on the channel. The Intelligence. This was the first warship shown. It was also the first to have 2 flight decks. But I do have 2 other warships that are basically retired. In fact, I'll show them now. They are essentially very old, being some of my first warships. They are siblings, being the Dreadnought and the Dreadnoughtus. They both had the same armament of 5 torpedo, it is, yeah, 5 torpedoes, and they could actually perform like an aircraft carrier. You just need to convert them. They have 4, well, this one has 4 2-cannon batteries and is the Dreadnought. Very old ship. They both have a keel, which is that thing. And then this one has 3 cannon batteries. It could actually be an aircraft carrier, being the Dreadnoughtus. These are my oldest warships, and the ranking of all my carriers, the best one, I believe. I'll just post my rankings in the description of the video. They will be subject to change. But that was all the carriers. Another reason the Invincible ship so low is a railgun, a railgun, a railgun. Bunch of cannons. Railguns and a cruise missile. Railgun, torpedoes, and cruise missiles. Railguns and cruise missiles. Railguns, missile. Railguns. Railguns and grenade launcher. Railguns and grenade launcher. Overall, compared to every other carrier in the Navy, it's very bad. So it is just pretty much a floating base. But that was my ranking of the carriers of Chamelidonia. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you later. Peace!